it!
Later on in the day, Aidan and Liam started to argue with one another, and Mum put them both in her version of time out.
Why were you hitting on Aidan? What were you fighting over? The magazine or your puppy? Aidan, come say you're sorry to your brother. You can get out of timeout. No, come say it to your brother like you mean it.
For a time out, there was an awful lot of talking going on. I'm more curious as to how Mum came across this version of my technique.
And was that something you were taught or you read or?
I think it's almost something that I kind of self-taught.
Are you confident with it?
No.
You're not?
It doesn't seem to work. It doesn't phase him.
And Dad wasn't kidding, because Mum's version of time out didn't bother Aidan in the slightest.
Oh, I told you could get out of timeout. Why are you still over here? It's not a joke.
I want us to be time.
Why? Because do you like it?
Yeah.
Clearly, discipline is something that I need to work on with both these parents. I hadn't seen Paige, the oldest daughter, for quite a bit, so I went upstairs to check on her. Hello?
The door's locked.
Paige let me in, but she told me the reason for the high security.
You have to have a key to physically lock your room because the boys go in.
And they mess it up, and then I always have to clean up.
Why not just tell the boys? Stay out of my room, please.
I do, but they don't listen.
How does that make you feel then?
It makes me feel mad because I always have to clean up after them.
Kids shouldn't have to lock their doors under any circumstances. I'm gonna have to work on this.
Hot stuff, guys, don't touch.
Later on in the evening, I watched Mum serve dinner. 5-year-old Aidan wasn't prepared to sit down and eat the food that was before him. The parents feel held to ransom because they know that their son needs to eat in order to control his diabetes.
Try this, buddy, right here. It's a little baby broccoli.
Just try it.
That one piece.
You want some butter on your potatoes?
No.
No?
At the same time, Aidan's using that against them.
You want to stay here the rest of the night?
No.
Well, then start eating.
Yeah.
You're not getting anything later.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're not. I'm telling you right now.
If he hasn't eaten his dinner, then he hasn't consumed the amount of carb necessary.
We'd have to give him...
Make him something that he'll eat.
Right. So what he's saying, that statement, is a fact. He could get food later. I don't think it's any coincidence that this little boy's sitting at the head of the table, do you?
Aidan's got far too much say in this house. His parents need to learn how to manage his diabetes and at the same time not give him all the control, because at the end of the day, his health is at stake.
I've had a good day just being able to watch the children. So there is stuff that I would love to talk to you about tomorrow morning in a family meeting so that we can really just get to the bottom of all of this.
Type 1 diabetes has rose over the last 2 years by 13.5%. And I know that it's been very, very difficult for the McGrath family, but that doesn't mean I'm going to hold back on letting them know what's necessary.
I really hope that Joe can help us.
I know what to expect. I'm ready for it. And I know I'm ready for it because I want to make this better.
There's been some major disruption because one of your children has a serious medical condition. So why don't we get to the heart of those points? How much does Aidan know about his diabetes?
He knows that he has to eat or his sugar will drop low.
He knows that he has to have the shot.
He knows that he has to have his shots and fingerprints every day for the rest of his life.
All right, we're going to work on something that allows Aidan to become more aware of what he's got and explaining it in a much simpler way so that he can understand the concept of that. He sees that you have to eat that food, as if you're dictating you have to have that. I think it would be a wonderful idea if what we saw was more incentive, almost a reward system in place, so that food for him didn't become something that he wanted to control. I want to talk about the communication between the pair of you. You haven't come to a place in recognising the importance of talking to one another and making sure that you continue to do that. Now, why do you feel that you've got yourself in that place?
Easier than arguing, I guess.
What's been easier?
Not arguing, walking away.
But the fact is, your whole family are going to pay the price if you guys don't start talking.
Right.
And you know that if you guys don't make that a priority, then everything's going to start to crumble anyway. Let's talk about discipline and boundaries. Aiden's a 5-year-old little boy who likes to have his own way. And there's been no discipline in place because he's had this medical condition.
Right.
Because that word diabetes for you means death, because your father died of it. His rude attitude and the way he behaves has got nothing to do with the fact that he's got diabetes. But he needs to realise that you guys have got the upper hand and show him that you have that authority, that you are the disciplinarian, that he's to do as he's told, full stop. The discipline that you are doing is not working.
It's very true.
It has no weight, it's got no clout, it means nothing, it's empty. So we're going to learn how to do discipline properly.
Right.
So are we ready? Are we truly ready to just start changing things now? Because, you know, I think it's certainly been long enough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dive in head first.
Yeah? All right, good. So let's just jump into the deep end and go for it.
Thank you.
All right.
Coming up on SuperNanny, Aiden won't stomach Joe's new rules.
Just swallow it.
And later, can Joe teach Mom to follow through with discipline?
It's time out. No. Nope.
When SuperNanny returns.